I am so happy to create this last video dedicated to my previous client, Cyracom International, and I'm so happy to share with you my bad experience because I want you guys to be aware and be able to use it. I want to be useful, and I think that if there is something that we can do in our life that make our life meaningful and full of sense, this is to share our experience and try to be useful for others. This is my last video, number 5, dedicated to my experience working for Cyracom, and I will call this video How Cyracom Burn You Out. Okay. You wanted to believe, or you don't want to believe, that these tactics are happening for real. This is really what they do, and this is my personal experience. You're free to deny or believe it. The only reason that I share this is to be useful. Before I start, please like, share, subscribe, write me a comment, and if you want to know about the other tactics, you can click on that box and find video number 1, the classical management dysfunctional tactics that Cyracom use on you even if you are not an employee. Okay, I am starting with this many long video, this video number 5. How they play with you, basically, how they burn you out. The number 1 thing is that they do, and if you work long enough, you're gonna see that no calls when you are available. I'm not talking about if you speak only 1 language. I do provide 5. So if there is 0 calls in a normally busy working day, there is no technical issues. There is just no calls. Okay. The moment, number 2 things that they do, this is sequence of things. I want to use a word, but I will try not to. The sequence of a bad behavior that this company have towards you. First, step number 1, no calls if you're available. Number 2, when you turn your system off, the second you turn it off, they start calling you. Let's say it's 7 p.m. You've been online for 12 hours, 0 calls. The moment that you turn your system off, they will start calling you. But these calls, guys, are not gonna be normal calls, because at night it's to remind some lady to take the pills, ask if she needs something, do you need water or something. It's short calls. I call them bugging you calls. Why? Because you cannot do money with them, but you still cannot enjoy your free time, right? Number 3, they use normally these tactics one after another one to really make you hate them, or more or less your own life. Night calls. Again, when I first started receiving night calls, I was thinking, maybe I should start working at night. Maybe I can do some money at night, right? How much my sleep cost? If I can do $30, is it valuable for me to stay awake all night for $30? Is it valuable for you to stay awake for $30 a night? How much your sleep costs to you guys, right? So I decided, okay, let me try to work at night and see how much money I can work. So for working at night, I was doing $10, $15 a night. So for me, that was not worthy. For you, maybe your sleep cost $10. And if that's the case, you can stay at night and stay awake and try to make this $10, because this is your value. For me, $10 was not enough money to keep me awake at night. But so what I noticed by trying to work at night is that there is actually not a call volume at night, right? There is 1 minute calls, 2 minutes calls. In a best case scenario, maybe you can get 911 at night or early in the morning at 4, work 10 minutes, make a few dollars there. But so for me, it was not worth it working at night. But what Cyracom customer care do to burn you out, and this happened to me for the last 6 months, they will call you over and over and over and over. The phone will ring 20, 30, 40 times until you take it. And when you take it, it's gonna be 1 or 2 minute call. But they will wake you up. They want to make sure they wake you up for this 1 or 2 minute call, insist that you must take it. And then very often when you take it, let's say you decide take it on the second, on the third time, we're so sorry, the client is gone, it was not important. And this will happen quite often. The result is that you cannot sleep. If you do not sleep, you do not have patience for the abusive calls that is gonna happen all day long the next day, because you're tired, you're irritated, and you can have 3-4 hours of abusive calls, but on the 5th hour when you're insulted, that's gonna be a little bit too much for you. But let's continue with that. The tactic number 4 that they apply on you is customer care start bullying you. Yes, believe it or not, this is happening. What I mean is this. Their interpreters left them. Many interpreters stopped working for Cyracom between February and August. So right now, if you start, they will have a little bit more call volume. What customer care do? Let's say you are working from 6 to 12 and you stop, you log off your system because you want to eat breakfast or lunch. Normally, if I work for them, lately I didn't have time to eat breakfast, so I would skip breakfast because they were so much pressuring me because they had a new client, and I would have directly lunch. But if you eat during a call, you get a complaint. You guys know that. So in order to avoid a complaint and another negative comment and another putting you down and another criticizing you from Cyracom, I log off to eat for lunch. Well, what they do, they don't let you eat lunch. They call you and they ask you why you logged off. And you're saying, I'm eating lunch, and they tell you, well, we have this call, aren't you going to take it? Because we're really busy right now, and you gotta understand that when you're busy. And so they're going to start slowly pressuring you. Until after 6 months, this pressure, I would say the last 1 year, I was not happy working for them. There was very negative, toxic. It has always been, but I think I start noticing it more, providing services for better companies and seeing what's meant to be treated with respect and dignity. And I was able to compare something that I was not doing before, right? The customer care get angry at you. Let's say, I remember it was some Ukrainian call last month and they were like so angry. I said, I'm so sorry, I'm eating, I'm not gonna take this call, I'm a freelance, I have a right to refuse it. I really need a second here, I need a break, I need to eat something, okay? So what they do, they threaten you. How they threaten you? Well, so this means you don't want to work for us no more? So this pressure that they exercise on you is start to escalate. Slowly, it becomes so heavy that you start getting depressed. Not only depressed, but you also doubt yourself worth as an interpreter, and you're convinced that you're a terrible interpreter, and they're doing you the favor to stand you BS. Forgive me, guys, because this is exactly how they treat you. They treat you like you are nothing, that you're zero, your value is zero, you're terrible. And if they call you to interrupt you the 5 minutes that you log off your system, you gotta be grateful for that. And if you're not, you deserve to be punished by insults. So they have this new hospital, and if you do work for them, I am sure if you speak the languages that I do, you would have noticed. And if you're a Russian interpreter for them, God help you and God save you from the abuse that is going to be discharged on you on daily basis. I'm not talking about one call a day that somebody is irritated. I'm talking about 6 hours of verbal abuse discharged on you on a daily basis. Believe it or not, guys, you're not gonna be able to handle that shit. Forgive me from the word. I don't use words, but this is exactly, you're gonna have one truck of BS that is gonna be discharged on you in form of a verbal abuse. When I mean that, I mean rudeness, screaming at you, ordering you, talking together with you, interrupting you to tell you that you're terrible, that you're awful, interrupting you to tell you that you don't interpret, interrupting to tell you that you're a terrible interpreter, that you don't know the language, that you're an awful person, how terrible you are, and so and so and so on. But not in the tone that I'm telling you that. In very aggressive, very rude, very ordering manners. You're gonna receive very disrespectful orders from this hospital telling you that you're terrible, looking to arguing with you, telling you that you didn't interpret correctly. And honestly, it's so bad that I don't know how long you think you can handle that abuse. But on the top of this abusive, treating you as nothing, as animal, as total crap hospital providers, you're gonna have a Cyracom also being angry with you, being abusive with you, the customer care being disrespectful to you, calling you on your 5 or 10 minutes lunch break, pressuring you. On the top of that, if you try to refuse any of these calls, you're gonna be bullied by Cyracom. But this is going to be for our last video called How Much Abuse You Can Stand. I was depressed at this stadium. I'm talking about the last 2-3 months. That was bad. It was terrible. It was I love interpreting, I love my job, but this new client that they get, this new hospital, and I am, especially for Russian speaking interpreters, guys, that you work for Cyracom, you're gonna face these challenges, and God help you. God help you. And please, if you have one or few of those, I personally advise you to disconnect your system and go on a walk, take the day off, because you are on the process of being burnout, self-doubting yourself, going to depression, sadness, and blue, and going lower and lower, because the way this toxic environment is pressuring you and putting you down. But that was video number 5. If you want to know more about my last video and why Cyracom is bad company to deal with, why you can get depressed and bloom and sad and cried and self-doubting yourself if you provide services for them, you could stay here and watch this last video. If you are a manager that works for Cyracom, I do hope that my honest feedback and honest experience with you guys help you to become a better company, because working for you for the last few months was absolute nightmare that I don't wish to anyone. Thank you for being here. I hope this video was useful. I send you all my love, guys. I hope this video helped you to get on a better career step in your life. I hope it was useful, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.